Good morning, Shweta. Today we are going to see a new chapter, which is our 9th chapter, Applied Statistics. Okay. Here in this unit, we will be discussing about these topics: the time series data, the components of the time series data, moving averages, seasonal variation, the index numbers, the weighted index number, the test for the ideal index number, the quality control, causes for the variation, and the process control and the product control. First, we will be discussing about the time series analysis. What do you mean by time series analysis? Time series means it is the data arranged chronologically. Chronologically means what? On the time, as and when it is happening, we have to write the date and we will be arranging the data. Okay, today it is raining, so to put today's date, say 22/10/2020, it is raining. 23/10/2020, there's no rain. So the data is arranged in the chronological order, that is according to the timeline or the time or the date. Okay, so what are the main things is the time series is the set of observations arranged in the chronological order. It can be either in the ascending or in the descending. Why do we want to do this? We want to analyze the past behavior, is it not? If you are going to enter into a business, say you want to start a small scale industry, okay, like our packaging industry, okay, using this cardboard and all. First of all, you will know what is the past behavior of the industry, that is how well that industry is going as of now, okay. Then what will be our forecasting and for our future plans, okay, what will be our future plans based on all this time series or the items which we are going to list out. It all will help us for all this, okay. Then the evaluation of the current achievements and also to make the comparative studies. So all this we want the data with the time series, okay. Now we are going to see the components of the time series. We have 4 components. One is a secular trend, second one is a seasonal variation, third one is a cyclic variation, fourth one is the irregular variation. Secular trend means it is the increasing or in the decreasing, whichever the trend it is following, it can follow, okay. Say in the case, upward tendency is usually observed in the population, production, sales, prices, income of the individuals, etc. Whereas the downward trend is always observed in the deaths, epidemics, the prices of the electronic gadgets, water sources, mortality rate. So in general, the tendency of the time series is to increase or decrease over a long period of time. So secular is that. Seasonal, depending upon the season. Say if it is raining, okay, so the umbrellas and the raincoats sales will be very high, okay. Whereas in summer, the cool drinks, okay. Whereas in Deepavali season, the crackers, okay. So all this is all dependent in, or all these are all examples for seasonal variations. Now coming to cyclic variations. What do you mean by cyclic? That is after say a period, say some 7 to 8 to 10 years, okay, again we will be starting the boom or the depression in the business cycle, is it not? So that is cyclic. After one depression there will be always a boom, and after one boom there will be another depression. What about the irregular variation? Irregular variation is totally without our control, okay. We cannot say it will happen only at this time. Accident changes or pure random changes like tsunami, earthquake, flood, all these changes all come under irregular variations, okay. So we will be having 2 models. One model is additive model, other one is the multiplicative model. Additive model is for t plus s plus c plus I. All the components I am going to add, whereas in the multiplicative model all the components I am going to multiply, where y will be the original value, t is the trend value, s is the seasonal component, c is the cyclic component, I is the irregular component, okay. So these 2 formulas you should remember. Then coming to the measurement of the trends. How are we going to measure the trends? We are going to measure the trends with these 4 methods. Based on these methods only we will be having the examples and the exercise problems. So we should know these methods. First method is a freehand or the graphic method. The second method is the method of semi-averages. The third one is the method of moving averages. Fourth one is the method of least squares. Okay, so all these four methods we are going to handle in this first exercise. First one is the graphic method. What I am going to do is in the graphic method is they are giving the procedure and they are giving one example also. First is plot the time series data on the graph. Okay, I will be plotting as usual. How we will be plotting in our graph sheet? We are going to plot. Then draw a freehand smooth curve. Freehand smooth curve means what? I am going to draw with my hand only. I am not going to use scale at all for the curve. Then examine the direction of the trend based on the plotted points. You should understand where the curve is going, whether it is going from left to right or from top to bottom or from right to left, whichever direction it is going or it is moving, you should understand. Then we should draw a straight line. We should draw a straight line which will pass through the maximum number of plotted points. Which will pass through the maximum. See, if I draw a line like this, it will have only this curve cutting. So when I draw this line, it will be cutting the curve in all the points. 1 point, 2 point, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 maximum. If I draw a line like this, it will cut the curve in 7 places. So I will take that as the trend line. Okay. So the trend is drawn like that. Okay. See the example. Fit a trend line by the method of freehand. So the data they have given, we are going to plot. The year is on the x-axis. Y-axis we have the value. Now I have plotted, and after plotting I am going to draw the line. Okay, ma? Then I have to mark which is the original data line and the other one is the trend line. Done. Now coming to the second method of semi-averages. How I am going to do? The name itself will say semi-average. Semi means middle or half. Is it not? Semicircle means half the circle. So semi-averages. Averages means we are going to total it and you are going to divide the total with the number of elements. So I am going to use that method. How I am going to do? The data is divided into two equal parts. Okay. So when I divide it into equal parts, I will be having two situations. If the given data is odd number means no problem. The middle one I can take. Okay. But the two equal parts can be made by simply omitting the middle one. So I can remove the middle one. I will leave it the middle one and I will take only the other two sections. I will take the average of the first section. I will take the average of the second section. Then I will plot that point. Okay, at the midpoint of the year and join them through the straight line. So that line can be extended on both the sides. So this line is the trend line for the using the semi-average method. Given this example was asked in the 2020 public question paper for 3 marks. So diagram carried 1 mark. These 2 points carried 1 mark. So this is a very easy question. Okay. What? You count the number of values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it is odd. So the middle one is left out. Okay. The middle here is left out. Only take these 3 values. Take these 3 values. You add and divide by 3. So you will get this average. Again you add these 3 and divide by 3. You will get these. Now these 2 points I am getting. How I am going to plot? See. This point 113.3 is between 2000 and 2002. 2000 and 2002. I am going to place it in the middle because this is going to be the average. So it should be midpoint of 2000 and 2002. Similarly, 123.33 is between 2004 and 2006. So 2004 and 2006, I can take the point here, point it or place the point, draw the line. So this will be the trend line for the given data using the semi-averages method. Coming to the second point or this one, see the method 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So totally this even number. So nothing to be left out. This half is in one average. This half is in another average. Totally add, you will get 14. And if you add and find the average, it is 26.25. Now I have to place it, how I'm going to plot it. Now between 190 to 193, which will be my midpoint? It will be between 191 to 92. So 191 to 92, or it is between 190 to 91. Okay, so I am going to place the point. Now coming to the upper section, this point, it will be between 194 to 197. Okay, so I can put it in the last section, 196 to 197. I can place it in the midpoint. Okay, each point is plotted at the midpoint of each half, midpoint of the each half. Then I can draw. Okay, then the future values can be predicted. The trend values are not precise. The trend values obtained here are not precise. Coming to the moving averages method. Moving averages method means we have to decide upon the year. How many years we are going to do the averages? 3 years or 4 years. If it is 3 years, we will take 3 years together and find the average. Okay. Then if it is the odd number, then there is no problem in centering it. Okay, that is between the 2 years you can center it. Okay, in case of even averages means if at all I am going to find for even averages, how will I do? A, B, C, D by 4. Then if it is an even number, the average of first 4 values will be placed between second and third. Okay, and the second 4 will be placed between third and fourth. So it should be placed in the middle for the even averages. Okay, for odd averages it is not a problem. Okay, shall we go for this example 9.4? 9.4 they are asking us to find 3 yearly moving. So put the years and the number of students in the standarding form. Write it in the vertical form. 3 years. So 332 plus 317 plus 357. Add these 3. Then I will be getting 1006. I am going to place in between. That is at 317. Now take 317, 357, 392. Add those 3. Put it at 1066 at 357th row. Okay. Similarly, you have to keep on filling. After filling, I am going to find the average. The average means divide this value by 3. That's all. Divide 1006 by 3. You will get this averages. Okay. So that is why it is called 3 yearly. This is 3 yearly moving total. This is 3 yearly moving average. Now coming to this example. This example also was asked in this public question. Okay. For 3 marks. For 1 mark each for each column. Okay. This column carried 1 mark. This column carried 1 mark. This column carried 1 mark. Okay. Now calculate the 4 yearly moving. So this is 4. So this is an even. So how I am going to do is, see, I have left 1 line between. Is it not? So from 2001 to 2004, I will be adding 124 plus 120 plus 135 plus 140. What is the value? It is 519. Where I am placing? Between 2002 and 2003. See, I am placing it between this. There is nothing in the middle. So this is at here. Then the coming to the next 4. 120 plus 135 plus 140 plus 145. Where will I place? I will place it here. Then 135, 140, 145, 158. What will be the summation of these 4 items? It is 578. Okay. Then this 4. 140 plus 145 plus 158 plus 1. That will come 605. Then coming to this 4. Just move your fingers. That will be very easy to add. Now after this total, I am going to do the average. That is 590 divided by 4. Simple. You will get the average. Okay. Then 135 for 550 divided by 4. Then 578 divided by 4. You will get all the average. Now you are going to find the centered moving average. 4 yearly centered. How I am going to find the centered? Centered means I am going to add these two averages and divide by 2. 129.75 plus 135 divided by 2 will give 132.37. 135 plus 144. If you just add these two, you will get this. Just see, simple one. If you just add 0.50, this add 9, 4 plus 3, 7, 279.50, that is divided by 2. That you will get 139.75. If you add these two and divide by 2, this you will get this. These two divide by this. So this is called 4-yearly centered moving average. Okay, 4-yearly centered moving average. Okay. Now, coming to the method of least squares. We are going to find the least squares. How we are going to do is, we are going to fit a line. We have already learned this in our 11. How are we going to fit a straight line? So now we are going to do the same thing. Okay, we are going to fit the line such that that will be the best fit. It will be the best fit. We will see how. Okay. First, they are giving the data. You have to draw the straight line, fit a straight line trend. Okay. By the method of least squares. First is, write that data in the vertical form. Now, you have to find the capital X. What is your capital X? Which is my middle term. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, the middle term is 1, 2, 3, fourth one. 2003 is the fourth one. So, I am taking that as a middle term. So, X minus 2003. Okay, capital X. Now, I am going to square this capital X. Then this capital X into this capital Y, I will be getting capital XY. Okay. Now, what will be my N? Count of the N. Sigma Y, sigma X, sigma X square, sigma XY. Find out all this. Okay. Now, what I am going to do is, my A, small a is equal to sigma Y by N. So, 316 divided by 7, I will get this. What will be my B? B is sigma X Y divided by 28. I will do this. So, two values I have to find out. After this, I am going to fit it in the straight line. Y equal to A plus BX. Instead of capital X, I am going to use small x minus 2003. So, at every value of small x, I will be getting the trend line. Okay. So, the trend line, if I plot all this, I will be getting the trend. Okay. So, this is how we are going to do. Okay. Now, if it is in case of even numbers, okay, this method we will do it later because this is only one exception example. Okay. Now, methods of measuring the seasonal variations by the simple average method. That is, we are going to arrange the data by the quarter or the month. Then, we have to find the sum of each month's quarter or a year. Then find the average, then find the grand average, then we are going to find the seasonal index. Seasonal index for every quarter will be that monthly average. If it is for month, it is a monthly average divided by grand average. If it is for the quarter divided by the grand average into 100. The example they have shown, we will see it in our exercise sums directly. Coming to exercise 9.1, we will go to the 13th problem directly. In the 13th problem, they are asking us to find the average seasonal movement. Okay, so how are we going to do the average seasonal movement? First is, draw the tabular column, write the year and the quarterly production for the 4 quarters, write the data. Now, first is quarterly total. First find the total. Then find the quarterly average. That is that divided by how many values you have. Okay, so that will be the quarterly average. Now, what will be the grand average? I have to add all this 4 and divide by 4. That will be my grand. What will be my seasonal index? Quarterly average divided by grand average into 100. So, for each quarter, I will be having one index. So, first quarter, second quarter, third, fourth. I will be finding all the 4 values. Okay. Coming to the 14th problem. 14th problem is, we have to find by the trend. You have to fit the trend by 3 yearly moving average. 3 yearly moving total first we have to find and then average. Find the data, write the data. That is, this is the year. This is the profit. Right then. Add. First 3 together, you will get this. The next 3 together, put it in the middle. Since this is all odd, it's very easy. Add, put it in the middle. Add, put. All divide by 3, you will get this column. No issues. Coming to the 15th problem, you have to find the 5 yearly. It is 5. So, I will be counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So till 125 I will add. Okay, and that is my total. Where will I put? I will put it in the middle. That is at the third value. So this is 670, 690. Then the next 5. I moved my hand. See, I moved one finger here, I moved. So I will be getting 5 values. The next 5. I will be keep on writing. The next 5. The next 5. But finally 690 divided by 5 I will get this. 617 divided by 5 I will get this value. This divided by 5 I will get all these values. Coming to the 16th one, it is a simple trend plotting. You can plot the values, plot the values, draw the freehand curve and draw a line such that it will cut the maximum. Then coming to the 17th is fitting the line given the data. I am going to take the middle value as 1998. Accordingly, I will get my sigma x, sigma x squared and my sigma xy. Depending upon this, I am going to fit the straight line y equal to what will be my a, sigma y by n. Okay, the b will be sigma xy by x squared. So I will be finding that fit the line. You can check the data with 1996 it should be 162.85. You can cross check the values. Okay, now coming to the 18th problem. 18th problem is also fitting the line only. You can fit the line, you can fill the data, trend values, and then you can do the summation. I have written the values for all this. You can calculate and you can do it. This is simple calculations. Similarly, coming to the 19th one. 19th one is they are asking us to method of semi-averages. Semi-averages, we know 12 values are there. So first 6 I will take, the second 6 I will take. First 6 it is between Jan to June. So it should be between March and April. So add all this and divide by 6. Similarly the below 6 all I have added divided by 6. So between March to April I will keep it. So within that middle I will keep the point and I have to mark 276.67. Similarly, for the lower section, it is between September to October. I will place it like this and I can join the line. Okay. Now, coming to the 20th question, you have to find the monthly averages. It is not the quarterly averages. So, I am drawing the monthly one. Find the totals. Find the averages. Okay. Then find the grand average. Then, for seasonal index for each month. Like January, it will be what 17.67 divided by 17.36. So it's 101.79. So you have to calculate for all January to December. So this will be your homework. What will be my 21st sum? It is you have to calculate the quarterly index. Similarly, they have given 4 quarterlies. So we have to calculate the total, find the average, grand average. Then for each seasonal index you have to find. So this is also your homework. Okay. Now coming to the 22nd, it is again finding the straight line or fitting the straight line using the least squares. So it is AXY, capital X I am calculating with A as 1994. So 1994, accordingly my sigma x equal to 0, x sigma x squared, sigma xy, sigma y and sigma n. So A will be this divided by this and B will be this divided by this. With this values, I can fit the line as a plus bx. Then I will extend the values and I can find the trend values. Okay. So all this you can work it out. This is a simple chapter. You can very well score good marks if this chapter you learn thoroughly. Okay. The formulas are also very simple. Each column will have each mark. So the mark split up is also very easy. Okay. Thank you.